Networking and marketing made simple is for you, the business owner who has a product, a service, or a message that you believe in. My name is Scott Aaron, and each week we'll take a behind-the-scenes look into the real-world marketing and networking tactics and strategies for getting what you have in front of you to a lot more people. Thanks for spending time with me, and now let's get started. Hey, everybody, and welcome back to another podcast episode. We have another dual episode for you guys today. So I'm accompanied by the lovely
Nancy. Hello, hello.
So just a couple quick announcements. As you're listening to this, this may be Monday morning, Monday afternoon, or even early Monday evening. But tonight at 8 p.m., we begin our first of only 2 LinkedIn workshops of the entire year. It's not too late to register. We have close to 85 people registered now, which is awesome. The goal is always to have 100 hungry people in our workshop. It's all this week. It is Monday through Thursday from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. EDT, Friday from 5 to 6 p.m. EDT, and then Saturday 12 to 1 p.m. EDT. It's all live and recorded. The replays are available until May 7th. And we're going to teach you and show you everything that needs to be done to optimize LinkedIn, how to optimize your profile, build an ideal client network, message people properly, sales structure of your phone calls and closing sales, and the content that you should be posting as well. And it's not just obviously us teaching and training. We're actually going to be sharing screens, and we're going to be on LinkedIn kind of navigating and showing you what this whole system looks like. So if you would like to register, just go to the description of this episode, wherever you're listening to this to and from, click on the link, get yourself registered so you can get your workbook and the Zoom link. And we hope to see you tonight at 8 p.m. for night number 1. So I would say this is more of like a off the cuff type of episode, because Nancy and I have definitely been, I would say, feeling certain things circulating in the ethers of whatever's going on. And you can call it being intuitive, you can call it seasons, you can call it just a lot of energy circulating, but there's definitely something going on. And I think there's something to be said about this, because we've heard it from numerous people, numerous podcasts. We know of some high level business owners that have actually stepped back and walked away from multi-million-dollar businesses. We know of someone that was making $500,000 a month and got to their wits' end, burnout, and just said, you know what? I'm taking a break from it all. Shut down their mastermind, shut down their programs, literally is off of social media. And you may be thinking to yourself, why would anyone walk away from a $500,000 a month business? Well, mental health obviously is very, very important, but when you kind of get into the guts of running your business, and Nancy and I can be very open and transparent with you, when you're scaling a business, it could push you, it could challenge you. You know, there's definitely, Nancy and I have this spoken agreement where we can't both be going through a season at the same time. If she's going through something, I have to be her anchor. If I'm going through something, she's got to be my anchor. We can't be both going through it together, or it'll be a complete shitstorm. So we just wanted to kind of talk to everyone, because I don't know if anyone else listening to this has been feeling this lately, but there's definitely something going on. So Nance, I know we just want to kind of riff today, but I'm going to kind of turn it to you to kind of lead the charge of whatever might fall out of our mouths today.
Yeah, it's so funny because I started creating a notes section in my phone of all the podcast episodes I want to do, just based on things that are going on. And oh my goodness, I just keep adding so many different things. But this one is one I really wanted to do with you because for 2 reasons, right? So we both celebrated our birthday So Scott, on the 20th, me on the 15th, and the week of the 15th, it was right around my birthday. I just kept telling Scott, I'm like, oh my gosh, I feel everything. Like, I just felt like the weight of the world. I felt like so much energy happening. It would almost felt like chaotic. And I'm just like, I just feel like I want to crawl in a little bubble and hide underneath. It's just like, I just don't know what it was, but it was so much energy and stuff that was going around. And really, it was making me feel overwhelmed. And I think I told Scott, I'm like, man, I just need like a break or something. But even it was hard for me to take a break because I had a lot of things that I wanted to get done. So it was a very confusing week for me. And we'll call that a season for me, right? I was kind of going through it. And then we flip flop, right? So I finally come out of my season and boom, Scott's birthday rolls around. Everything's great. And then all of a sudden he's like, oh my gosh, I'm feeling it, right? What is it you said to me? You were like, oh,
No, I just felt like shit. I felt heavy in my head. I felt um like twinginess in my back,
yeah,
I was just feeling so much chaotic energy. And you know, I just couldn't relax. I was just, everything, it just felt like so many things were getting fired at us at once. We were having to not put out fires, but there was just a lot of noise. And Nancy had made all these like awesome plans for my birthday. We were supposed to go out to dinner to one of our favorite restaurants, and then we were going to catch some live music. And I called Nancy. I went to go visit my dad at the hospital, and I called her on my way home, and I'm like, listen, I'm like, I really want to go out tonight, but I don't think I can. I said, I just want to come home. I want to take a hot shower. I want to eat some dinner, and I want to just lay on the couch and watch a movie. I just could not muster the energy. And that's the thing. One of our close friends, Dawn, has always told us both that we're very empathic, meaning we are very connected to a lot of the energy that's going on out there. So it could be related to our own energy, it could be related to other people's energy. But all I could tell you is that it was almost like there was a Tom and Jerry cartoon like running through my body. It was just chaos. It
yeah.
really was. And it wasn't really until last night, which was, we're recording this Sunday, this was Saturday night, that we really we started to feel the energy start to lift a little bit. We went over to my sister's to hang out with my brother-in-law, my mom and my stepdad and my nieces. They had a dance recital. So we had lunch, we hung out. And then we came back home, took the dogs out, and then actually went back and hung out with Blair and Jason. We ordered in dinner, watched Jurassic Park 1 and 2, uh, played some trivia, had some cocktails, and just like yucked it up. And that's exactly what we needed. Like I remember saying to Nancy last night when we were driving back home, like, I feel much more like myself now. I had the best night's sleep that I had in a long time. My back feels better today. My head doesn't feel heavy anymore.
Yeah.
I can't stress to people enough. You have to pay attention to how you feel. Nancy and I both took COVID tests. We thought we were getting COVID. Like she's like, my throat hurts. I'm like, I have a headache. And I'm like, do we have COVID again? And it wasn't COVID. We just, when there's a lot of chaotic energy going around, and, there's, I don't know, we were going to sage each other and smudge.
I was like, oh my God, I don't even know what is going. Yeah, it was crazy. And again, for us to seesaw like that, like, thank God, again, to Scott, Scott's point, what he said before, we can't be going through it at the same time. That was a big thing. But yeah, I mean, I was just feeling it so much. And I looked online and it just felt like I was going through the news feed and all these other people that we know who are entrepreneurs were posting similar stuff. Like, oh my gosh, I'm feeling so unmotivated. Oh my gosh, I'm feeling like everything's so crazy. Oh my gosh, I'm feeling overwhelmed. Right. So all these words are popping up and I'm like, oh my goodness. And I listened to a really great episode. It was Build Your Tribe with Brock and Shailene Johnson, and they hit the nail right on the head. And I was like, again, I texted it to Scott and I said, we have got to do an episode on this and just chat about it, because it seems like it's not just us, it's other people out there. So I think it's really important for everyone who's listening, right, to be aware, okay, again, that these are seasons sometimes, okay? And, Scott mentioned there was a really big influencer, actually someone who I really, really admire and follow, Vanessa Lau. She is a YouTuber. And in fact, I always check out her stuff. She's always, posts the most wonderful things, great tips, all kinds of wonderfulness. But recently, she had just hit, I mean, it was almost like the pinnacle of, what she had set out to do, which was making like $500,000 a month. She had Mastermind going on. She had multiple programs. She was, making obviously money on the YouTube ads, had a team of people, and literally came to a screeching halt, decided she was done and she was really going to take a sabbatical, let go of her entire team, according to what Shailene and Brock Johnson. Did I say that right? Yeah,
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 Brock.
said.
First, you said
Um,
Jack Johnson with
I know, like, I'm like, okay, I messed that up. But
Brock
anyway, so
Johnson.
according to what they said, yeah, she totally, like, literally just fired, let go of her team, everybody except for like one person. She let go everyone from her masterminds. She, I guess, got rid of her, I guess, like she closed her one program. So anyway, the whole point is, again, if you're listening to this now, you're not the only one who might be feeling this way. The big important thing to remember, right, is these seasons do come and go, right? And as entrepreneurs, a lot of times we are dealing with long strings of feeling stressed and, the ups and downs. Again, it doesn't matter what stage you're in, right? Whenever you run your own business and you are in charge of all the things, right? You can't help but feel this sometimes, right? And a lot of things are changing right now in the landscape. Marketing is looking a little differently. We've got ChatGPT coming in. We've got AI. We've got all these different things where people are like, whoa, I got to learn all this now. And it's kind of like this resurgence of, oh my gosh, like, now I feel overwhelmed with the amount of stuff that's out there and I got to keep up. So that's where, again, I want to remind you guys that it is up and down and up and down. It's like, oh my gosh, I'm flying high. And then, the next week you could be like, I messed up. Ugh, this isn't working. And, that's normal. But there are certain things that we can do to really help prevent the burnout and help us prevent getting to that point where we cannot anymore, right? Because you started this business for a reason, right? There's a why, there's a passion, there's a drive. You have a big vision, right, for your business. So we've got to get back there. And, we also want to go through a couple different tips, right, to share with you guys of ways that you can really work through these seasons. And even better yet, how you can help prevent some of these seasons. Now, what Scott and I were going through, and again, we're just getting through the tail end of it, for Scott, like, literally, I cannot explain it. I mean, it was energetic, entirely. And I think we do a pretty good job of trying to prevent it. But it definitely smacked us right on our butts and just said, you know what? Nope. We're going to throw some challenges and we're going to throw a little storm your way. And, again, I thank God that, like, I was going through the 1 week, and then Scott was, able to go through his, where I was really coming out of it. We're feeling great, right? We're going to start our workshop tomorrow. I'm super, super excited. Energy is up, and I know I'm ready to go. Scott, are you? Are you
Yeah,
ready?
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm ready to go.
Yeah. So anyway, so a couple tips on how you can kind of get through this. Well, number one is realizing first that it is a season. Okay. These feelings are temporary. If you feel yourself getting so burnt out and you're like, why did I even do this in the first place? And you're having one of those moments, know that you are not alone. Okay. This is something completely normal. Every single entrepreneur, every single business owner, every person who has been successful and achieved their goals has hit that moment. Okay. Several times, many, many times. Okay. So know, number one, that it is a season and you're going to get through it. The second goal, or the second tip that can really help with it as well, is to have boundaries. Okay. So this is one thing that I know I helped Scott a lot out years ago. And then he has come back around and returned the favor, now that I kind of sometimes step outside of my boundaries. So one of the biggest things that Scott actually told me, lately was make sure you have a cutoff point. Make sure that you are done at 5, like, knock it off. And so he'll sometimes come and he'll knock on my office door and he'll say, all right, time for, to wrap it up. And as much as my brain, right, I get going. And in fact, I'm one of those people where I throw my energy entirely into something, which again, part of ADD, but like honestly, it's a gift, but it's also a curse where I get in these modes where even at 3 p.m. in the afternoon, I could dive all my energy into working on completing something, and I could work straight through until 2 a.m. in some cases. But who is that good for? No one, right? That's not good for anyone. So, again, I helped Scott with this a lot when we first started, building his business and everything, having a work-life balance, right? You didn't start this business just to start it. You want to actually have some time freedom. You want to actually be able to work when you can. So I think it's really important for everyone listening. If you do not have a start and a stop time each day, and you do not have certain time blocked out, such as the weekend, to really refresh, recalibrate, spend time with family, really turn it off. I think it's important that you do look at your schedule and you see what times you can do that, right?
Well, I think the other big thing is that there was a big time period, the quote unquote hustle culture, where
Yeah.
there was um this badge of honor that people wore if they worked, you know, every day, all day through the weekends, never took vacations. Like
Yeah, it was like a Grant Cardone or like a Gary V. It was like around those times where
it
it
was
was
like
like hustle,
it
hustle,
was
hustle.
Gary V. It was Gary V.
Yeah.
And he actually has backtracked on his statement because I think he even got burnt out. I don't know how much these influencers, and I'm gonna all put them in the same category. Um, I don't think anyone really knows how much or how little they actually work, but you can tell by uh how their physical appearance. Do they look tired? Do they look No, I'm serious. Do
Yeah.
they look a little bit weathered? Do they look a little bit exhausted? Um, and I know that like sometimes I'll look in the mirror and like my eyes look heavy, you know, I'll see the exhaustion on my face, and I'll know that I'm like, you know what? It's getting to that point where I'm pushing a little bit too hard right now. I need to kind of step back a little bit. And Gary Vee has also stepped back from this hustle culture to, have a more harmonious balance. And I
Yeah.
think that's the thing that we all need to understand is that just because you're working more hours doesn't mean you're going to get more done. It just means you're working more and you're living less. And I think that's my big thing. Like I am allergic to working on the weekends. Like, I mean, Nancy and I take off Wednesdays and Fridays. Like we purposefully
Yeah.
we hit it hard on Mondays and Tuesdays. We have Wednesday off, which is like it always seems to come at the right, like I can't
Mhm.
tell you how often Nancy and we still get up at our normal 6 a.m. no matter what. But I can't tell you how many times we'll be walking up from our home gym up into the kitchen on a Wednesday. And one of us will say to the other, like, man, I'm so glad we take Wednesdays off because like we have not like whatever we feel like working on that day, typically now for me, it's visiting my dad either at the hospital or going to his condo. Nancy and maybe catching up on maybe with our team and, just talking with them and kind of getting them some things ironed out. But it's like not busy work. It's stuff that, needs to get done, but sometimes it's nothing at all.
I mean, I've been doing connect calls lately, which has actually been a lot of fun. Yeah.
And then, Friday, I take off. I'm going golfing this Friday with one of my best friends, Mike. And then picking Taylor up at school, and then we have a whole weekend together. So it's like, I don't know, like things are still going great and growing. You'd be amazed, and this is my message to everyone, and you guys would be amazed how much you can get done when you organize your day and your time. Like if you really like cut like to the chase, so to speak, and said, you know what, I have to really time block these 3 to 4 hours, these three different, like, and that's 12 hours. You can get so much done. I mean, so much. And again, if you're not outsourcing stuff yet, that's okay. If you're still solopreneuring it, which is Nancy and I were dual solopreneuring it for many years before we started
Yeah.
hiring team and outsourcing. But listen to your body. I can't, I have a gratitude journal that I write in every single night before I go to bed. And like a couple of the prompts that it asks you is, what are you working on right now to create your best life? And it's, living more and working less, and Nancy could tell you, I am the prime example of hustle culture, being, an overworked personal trainer to then duplicating that when I was doing all of my LinkedIn coaching. And then Nancy kind of like literally had to like smack me and say, listen, you're doing too much. Like you're discounting all your stuff, you're giving all your stuff away, you're working all the time.
Oh,
Like give yourself a break.
you were burning me out. Like I was getting sick every like 3 weeks because I was like just exhausted. But yeah, I mean, so again, like there's different things you can do. I mean, to Scott's point, right? Time management, that's huge. Now, it's not going to fix everything, right? Because even you heard, right? We take off Wednesdays and Fridays, yet we still, right, have those times where we hit the wall. So I think the other thing to really realize, and this is something that many people, right, might struggle with or might not have really thought about or put in place. So I think one of the biggest things that has really helped us, over the years, and especially most recently in the past, couple years, is focusing on systems, creating systems in our business. Anywhere there's a bottleneck, anywhere there's a frustration, anywhere there's a point where it's like, oh my gosh, we have to be consistent with this. It's kind of like the atomic habits, right? Where, boom, let's say if it's content creation. Okay. If you have no content creation system or routine in place, it needs to be in place. And if you do, need to hire help or someone to make sure that that continues on. Okay. Where else are the gaps, and what are those things that are causing you to hit that wall? So that's another thing that I want you to think about is not just the time and how you're managing it and how you're planning for things, right? Because we can proactively plan out things in our schedule and block out time for projects and whatnot. But where are you hitting a wall when it comes to your day-to-day operations? Where are you hitting a wall or having bottlenecks and frustration and stress and overwhelm where maybe, right, there's a system that you can actually put in place or a person, right, that you can hire and you can get some help. Because I will say, probably one of the most amazing things that I'm so thankful for is, some of the people that we've hired so far this year. Scott and we hired someone to help with our operations, which, they actually pull together all of our KPIs and our metrics, and we're actually meeting every month and going over what's working well and, what needs to be improved and so on and so forth, and making sure that we're on track with our marketing map or my mapping out our marketing. And then the other thing is we hired a copywriter. That was a huge gap for us. And guys, yes, I know ChatGPT exists, but I want a human. I want someone helping me with more than just, sales page copy and email copy. I actually have a partner now in crime, whenever we do co-working sessions with our, BYB social group. And, when we need a second opinion on someone's business statement or, their sales page, it's great to have that human touch, right? Whenever it comes to some of those things. And then the third was my executive admin, right? So hiring our executive admin has been one of the most fascinating, wonderful things. All those little tasks that took forever, on Thursdays, whether it was downloading our trainings and, uploading them and scheduling the newsletters and all these little things that I was holding tight, with close gripped, clenched fists. I let go. And the feeling of releasing that and having support is something I'm incredibly grateful for. So, yes, right, those are some things that you can do. Now, we're going to kind of bring this all together and really remind you guys that again, This is a season. Okay. We're going through it. You're going through it. Could be energetic, could be just what's kind of happening in the world. We've got a lot of things that, are going on, and we've got a lot of change. I mean, we've got big changes happening. So just keep in mind again that we go through seasons. Second, again, is to make sure that you set those boundaries, get control of your calendar, take a look at what you've got coming up. Where can you time block? Where can you put some boundaries up and cut your day off? And then, of course, obviously having the proactive approach as well. And then lastly is, where do you need systems in place for your business? So again, this is actually something that we spent a lot of time on creating our mastermind program, and building out a lot of resources, for our entrepreneurs that we coach and people in our program, to help them speed that process up, right? Which is focusing on the core processes that you need to have in your business: operations, marketing and sales, financial, all those things that you really need to have, that's really going to make the biggest difference in your business. So if you find yourself right lacking those foundations and that structure, and really knowing what to do each and every day, that's really, obviously a big part of our program.
Yeah, and again, I'll finish this and kind of take it home, that
Yeah.
just know that you're not alone. And I have to give so much credit to Shailene and Brock Johnson, Lori and Chris Harder, if either of them end up hearing this episode. Nancy and I just wanted to thank the four of you because, um, you know, they're being open and honest about what's going on, the good, the bad, the ugly, things that they're struggling with,
Yeah.
whether
Any
it's
sort of
personal
field
or
even. Yeah.
professional. Yeah,
Yep.
it's real. We just want everyone to know that, you are going to be following some people on social media where it looks like their life is just the bomb.com. Like they don't have a bad day, everything is great. And, you know, Nancy and I have shared, when it was appropriate, we shared some personal things that were going on with us, whether it had to do with myself or Nancy or both of us, because we want to humanize ourselves. We go through it too. And we know that sometimes our plate gets crowded with things. And sometimes we're so entrenched in our personal life that we're blinded by what we have to achieve in our business life. And we have to find that balance. But just know you're not alone. You're not alone. And finally, just as a reminder, two things. Number one, we have our LinkedIn workshop that starts tonight at 8 p.m. EDT. It's live and recorded, so if you can't make it live, you can always watch the replay. The replay page will be up till May 7th, so you have a whole week and a half to watch it back. The link is in the description to get registered. And also, if you've ever been curious about what Nancy and I actually do, as far as how we help people, we do have a group coaching mastermind called Expert Authority that has definitely evolved over the last 3 years. A lot of our big focus was helping people create a podcast and writing a book, which those are still included in the program. But a bigger focus is helping people really throw gasoline on the fire of their business, like, increase your income, have more successful workshops, grow an email list, optimize your website, create lead magnets where people are actually opting in for them, creating membership, creating courses, creating your own group coaching programs. And it's very high accountable, meaning we meet every week with our mastermind members as a group, but we also meet once a quarter one-on-one with myself and Nancy. So it's very hands-on. I don't want to say it's way high level, but if you're tired of being in the same monetary place that you're in your business, and you want structure, you want organization, you want a one-stop shop program and mastermind where everything is there that you could ever want, we're not blowing smoke. That is this program. We have taken all the important aspects of what needs to be done when you are looking to really grow and scale something, and we have it with this program. So in addition to the workshop link, Nancy and I are also going to leave in the description of this where you can find out more about Expert Authority. The doors to our program are actually opening up later this week to only 10 individuals. We actually have a wait list right now for a couple of people that are pre-joining. So If you are super interested, all you have to do is go to the website. You can fill out, there's a little button that you can click to get on our calendar to have a call, and we would love to talk to you. So again, we hope you enjoy today's off the cup episode. Again, don't worry, seasons will happen. And as one season ends, another one begins, and you need to keep leaning into it. And we're here to support you every step of the way. So everyone, please enjoy the rest of your days, and we'll talk to you next time.
Bye-bye.
Thank you so much again for checking out today's episode. And if you are listening through iTunes, Spotify, wherever you are, please leave me a rating and review. Let me know what you loved, what you would like to see improved, or ideas you have for future episodes. And if you are interested in taking your business to the next level, don't hesitate to go to my website, www.scottaaron.net, where you can schedule a free discovery call with me, where I can learn more about you, your business, what you're struggling with, and how we can work together. And don't forget to check out my wife, Nancy, and mine, our free community on Facebook called LinkedIn Leads for Life. We would love to see you in there. Have a great rest of your day. And thank you everyone for your support. Grateful for each and every one of you.